The confrontation between Omni Man and Invincible was an intense, brutal, and unrelenting clash of titans, mirroring the intensity portrayed in both the show and the comic book series. Our central character, Invincible, found himself in a seemingly insurmountable predicament against his overwhelmingly powerful father. It was a ruthless showdown that pushed Invincible to the brink of defeat, and it's worth noting that his survival hinged on Omni Man's unexpected hesitation to deliver a fatal blow to his own son. However, as the story progressed, Invincible underwent significant growth and development. He matured and gained valuable experience through his numerous adventures. This newfound wisdom eventually led him to an extraordinary encounter where he was thrust back in time to face his father once more. In this altered timeline, the outcome of their battle took a radically different turn. So join us as we explore a second confrontation between Invincible and his father. Following Omni Man's redemption and his decision to prioritize his family over his imperial ambitions, he returned to Earth and began rebuilding his relationship with his wife and son. Together, they faced numerous perilous challenges, including their memorable battle against Thrag, the most formidable Viltrumite to ever exist, a confrontation that we've thoroughly discussed in one of our previous videos. However, the story took an unexpected turn when a former ally, Robot, resurfaced as a new, ruthless villain. After being stranded for centuries in a different dimension, Robot's worldview had undergone a radical transformation. He swiftly seized control of the world, establishing a dictatorial regime with an army of robots as his enforcers. In response, Invincible, now married to Adam Eve, decided to leave Earth behind in search of a more peaceful life. He, Eve, and their newborn daughter Terra, named after the planet Earth, settled on the planet Taliskria. Meanwhile, in a distant corner of the galaxy, the coalition of planets dispatched their mightiest warrior, Battle Beast, to hunt down and eliminate Thrag. This led to a titanic showdown between two of the series' most powerful characters, an epic confrontation we've previously covered in our videos. Although Thrag ultimately emerged as the victor, he sustained severe injuries. Recognizing an opportunity to finally bring Thrag down, Alan the alien enlisted the help of Invincible and his half-brother Oliver. They journeyed to Thrag's planet, only to find it nearly deserted, with no sign of their target. As they explored the planet, Mark was drawn to a mysterious, deep cave despite warnings from the local inhabitants. Unable to resist, he ventured deeper into the cave, ultimately encountering a strange alien entity emitting a powerful blue light. Upon touching it, the light only grew stronger, and Mark found himself transported back to Earth, where he was reading his favorite comic book. After seeing that his body is smaller and weaker, he realizes that he somehow traveled back in time to the very day he gained superpowers. In this altered timeline, Invincible finds himself once again a teenager, going about his daily routine, including getting ready for school while watching his father, Omni Man, engage in battles with monsters on the other side of the planet. At school, he approaches Adam Eve and reveals his knowledge of her secret identity as a superhero. Initially skeptical, Adam Eve takes him to a more private location where he divulges his awareness of her teammates and their superpowers. Intrigued, she introduces him to their superhero team. Despite Invincible's predictions about a potential villain attack, the team remains skeptical until he reveals that he knows Robot's true identity, a secret closely guarded by only a select few. This revelation dispels all doubt and solidifies Invincible's credibility. Robot encourages him to use his knowledge for the greater good, setting in motion a significant change in his character arc. As Invincible gains his superpowers, he returns home for dinner but chooses not to disclose his newfound abilities to his parents. Filled with confusion and disbelief, he flies into the sky, screaming, hoping that this surreal experience is just a dream. The next day, donning his original costume, Invincible proactively takes on several villains, saving numerous lives in the process. However, during a confrontation with the Flaxons, interdimensional alien invaders, Omni Man unexpectedly appears on the scene and recognizes his son. He expresses his disapproval at Mark's failure to disclose his superpowers and confronts him later in the day. Invincible asks Omni Man to continue their conversation outside and poses a crucial question: whether Omni Man loves his family. Initially taken aback, Omni Man admits his love for both his wife and son. However, his mood shifts to anger as Invincible reveals his knowledge of Omni Man's mission to conquer Earth and implores him to betray the Viltrumite Empire. As Omni Man landed a powerful blow on Invincible and declared his loyalty to the Viltrumite Empire, Invincible continued to try to convince his father to abandon his mission. He shared details of the future where Omni Man had actually betrayed the Empire, but this only fueled Omni Man's anger, leading to another forceful punch. Invincible made a final plea for his father to stop fighting and engage in conversation, but after enduring several more punishing blows, he recognized that Omni Man was no longer willing to listen. In a desperate move, Invincible decided to stop fighting and attempted to fly away from Omni Man. However, Omni Man quickly caught up and slammed him into the ground. What Omni Man didn't realize was that Invincible wasn't attempting to flee. Instead, he had led his father to the Guardians of the Globe, a team of the most powerful superheroes in this universe. These were the same heroes Omni Man had brutally killed in the original timeline. Invincible wasted no time informing the Guardians of Omni Man's intentions to take over Earth. Although initially confused, the Guardians were compelled to assist Invincible. Omni Man's ruthless dismemberment of one of the superheroes, Immortal, with a single blow, pushed them over the edge, and they unleashed their full power against him. Red Rush, a speedster from the team, arrived to reinforce their efforts. Meanwhile, Invincible was rescued and taken under the wing of Batwing, this world's equivalent of Batman. As Omni Man's battle with the Guardians raged on, Green Ghost used his phasing abilities to weaken Omni Man by damaging his internal organs. War Woman struck the final blow that knocked Omni Man unconscious. Cecil Stedman, head of the government agency dealing with superhuman affairs, arrived at the scene to take custody of Omni Man's body. While Omni Man recovered in the hospital, Invincible confided in Cecil about his knowledge of the future and his past government work. Cecil recognized the value of having someone with Invincible's insight and abilities on his side. He then took Invincible to visit the imprisoned Omni Man. During their conversation, Omni Man surprised Invincible by apologizing for his actions and expressing his realization that he loved his family more than his empire. It was a profound moment of reconciliation between father and son, one that marked a significant turning point in their relationship. In this twist of events, Earth was visited by Alan the Alien, and Invincible informed him that his rival, Omni Man, was actually a Viltrumite, much to Alan's astonishment. During their conversation, Omni Man expressed his willingness to assist Alan and the Coalition against the Viltrumite Empire, and he was subsequently taken to the Coalition's headquarters. Meanwhile, Invincible continued his superhero duties on Earth, proactively dealing with various villains and saving numerous lives. However, he carried a heavy heart, deeply missing his wife and daughter from the original timeline. One evening, overcome with grief and reminiscing about his past life, he was visited by the strange alien creature that had originally sent him back in time. The creature tried to console Invincible, emphasizing the countless lives he had saved. Nevertheless, Invincible was inconsolable, revealing his desire to undo all the changes and return to the present timeline. He explained that he couldn't bear the thought of losing his daughter, even if it meant sacrificing the countless lives he had saved. The creature expressed its disapproval and called Invincible a disgrace for his selfish choice, but it reluctantly granted his wish. Invincible found himself back in the cave on the alien planet, which was now in ruins. Fearing the worst, he quickly returned to his new home planet and was relieved to find Adam Eve there. He attempted to explain his absence to her, but she was initially frightened by his sudden return. Invincible anxiously asked about his daughter and, upon seeing Tara, he was overwhelmed with mixed emotions. His initial joy quickly turned to sadness as he realized that while he had spent only weeks in the past, 5 years had passed in the real world. He had missed the earliest and most formative years of his daughter's life, a heartbreaking consequence of his decision to return to the present timeline to be with his family.